A thread by Soul War, a glimpse into the shadows, synobs and broomsticks, everything the Democrats have been doing, encouraging, and enabling since their failed impeachment has been an exercise in escalation. Impeachment tanks? Here comes a completely unintentional COVID-19 pandemic. I'm still waiting for the mainstream media to discover that the chemistry head of Harvard University, Dr. Charles Lieber, spent 9 months out of every year in Wuhan City assisting the Chinese Communist Party in building a level 4 biolab. They keep saying, oh, it was just about non-disclosure of CCP funding. No. From 2012 to 2017, Dr. Lieber was assisting the Wuhan University of Technology in building that lab. It went online in January of 2018. Then something happened in December of 2019. But note how President Trump couches the pandemic. We were attacked. This was an attack. Chinese Communist Party case officers flee back to China as their smuggling mules get pinched, trying to flee the US in a hasty and panicked flight, trying to escape with more biological materials. It looks like the agents knew Zhang was smuggling stolen biological materials. Weird. Then we get hit with a pandemic the very next month. What a coinkydink. President Trump struggles to save American lives as the government tries to learn about a new novel virus. He bans flights from China as the Democrats escalate, calling him a racist. Come out to Mardi Gras. President Trump asks Americans to socially distance and remain at home for 15 days to slow the spread. 1 day before that time was up, he asked for a month. We gave it to him. The Democrats escalated this into lockdowns and mask laws. Sensing the pattern here, Texas and Florida began phases of reopening as deep blue cities locked down for indeterminate periods and predict Texas and Florida will become giant graveyards. We ignore them and get on with our lives as they begin implementing draconian measures on their trapped populations. Well, looks like President Trump beat the pandemic. Cue their long-planned insurrection. A rando black thug who actually died of a fentanyl overdose becomes the patron saint of their new religion movement to burn down America, literally. Escalation, anyone? President Trump, Attorney General Barr, and Secretary of Defense Esper defeated that carefully planned and longed for insurrection in 3 days. The real one, not the LARPing PR campaign that the left has stuck with. I detail how in this thread from thread by Kate Swain, link in the description. Here's a highlight of the silent war being fought on America's streets. The Minnesota governor said foreign operatives were engaged in systemic arson on May 29th. The next day, it all stopped. Weird. St. Paul Police Department claims they stopped several vehicles, but everyone got away. Several means more than 2. Occupied multiple times. Everyone got away? Really? You know how rare that is? Okay, since they're burning down your city, you might want to put out their description, right? What's that? No description? That's because they didn't get away. They got. Abracadabra. I want to reach out and grab you. They never knew what hit them. So, how can U.S. Special Forces operate legally on U.S. soil? Posse comitatus, right? The Stafford Act enacted during the pandemic, activated during the pandemic. The Dems never saw that coming. Ha! The Stafford Act allows the U.S. military to operate on U.S. soil in a law enforcement role. The vile forces driving all this, thought President Trump would crack down hard like they would. Then their operatives would foment a Kent State 2.0 and crowbar Trump out of office. Trump is not stupid. He watched and listened at the elbows of the left's movers and shakers for 3 decades. The military is here covertly, assessing, identifying, gathering intel, and occasionally striking. But you'll never see them. The Democrats freaked, and defund the police was born. To satisfy the Bernie wing, Antifa, they set about destroying statues and began attacking America's founders, while some insaniacs in Seattle set up the Chaz Chop. Escalation. Did you know there were 500 homes in that lawless zone, patrolled by armed thugs who proved that they'd shoot? During a rally just now, President Trump said Seattle cleared the Chop one day before he was going to go in. Well, that's technically true. Someone visited the Chop leaders, Antifa claims they don't have in Seattle. It looked like this. Then the Chop folded. The next Democrat fire Trump had to put out was in Portland, Oregon, where Antifa was attacking the federal courthouse every night. So Trump deployed federal teams and started charging the rioters federally. The Democrats immediately ran to their rescue. Escalation. A deal was struck between Governor Brown and the Trump administration to have Oregon State Police defend the courthouse and the feds would remain inside. This would have worked even though the blatant lying mainstream media said the feds had left Portland. They hadn't. The deal immediately fell apart. Portland District Attorney Mike Schmidt immediately released every rioter the Oregon State Police arrested. So the police left Portland. The feds only came out to put out fires at the courthouse. Antifa began going into residential neighborhoods to create the conflict it needs to survive with predictable results. The rioting was beginning to falter. Here comes the mainstream media to jumpstart it again. Jacob Blake. Kenosha goes up in flames, similar to Minneapolis. 3 days of rioting, culminating in a shooting, leaving 2 dead. Trump immediately takes steps to put the fire out. It works. 4 days later, escalation. After hours of confrontations between a Trump caravan of vehicles and Antifa comes the targeted assassination of Aaron J. Danielson. He was targeted simply for being a Trump supporter. I've covered at length how stupid confronting Antifa is. Now I learn the Proud Boys intend to hold a rally in Portland in late September. A Charlottesville 2.0 is inbound. If they go through with that, they're being run by political operatives working for the Democrats. There's no excuse for this other than to harm Trump's reelection. Veteran adrenaline junkies and rowdies eager to rumble don't impress me one bit. If they go through with this, they're just a mirror of Antifa dancing their dance, stupidly being used as a means to an end. Hopefully, those manipulating them wear a condom. If we're lucky, Trump will have Portland resolved by the 20th. Antifa is now ambush murdering people in Portland. Stay away and let the Stafford Act take care of it. Professionals with training, gear, and weapons you can't imagine are in play. Don't be fooled or taken in. Trump's got this. Someone recently said, stay home, make money, go vote. I'm told it was Cernovich. Whatever, whoever it was, rock on. Priceless advice. Trump is going to have to work 3 times as hard now because quote-unquote patriots are now positioning to rumble with Antifa and ruin everything. I hope all these guys here in the coming weeks is crickets in those deep blue cities where they're going to go looking for a fight. Portland is now dead quiet at night. Let's hope that that quiet can be spread to every Democrat hell zone. If anyone can do it, it's President Trump. To support the works of Brent Cates, donate any amount at paypal.me/Brent Cates. Thanks for listening, and remember,
I will be the greatest president that God ever created.